All right, Kiran, let's start again. Can you tell me the introduction and briefly describe yourself?
So my name is Kiran Agarwal. I come from Samba district, from a small village called Thalori. I have done my schooling from here itself, and then I did my graduation from a government college for women, which has recently been renamed as Shri Padma Sachdev College. And so, regarding my hobbies, I like painting, playing carom, and also teaching.
Okay. You
Yes,
studied in graduation in which were the subjects of your grad?
so BSc. My subjects were physics, maths, and geography.
All right. All right, Kiran, you have done your graduation in physics and mathematics. You like mathematics?
Yes. So, actually, it's been a long time. I did my graduation in 2018, and thereafter I started preparing for civil services. So I'm not really in touch with mathematics after that.
Okay, but you must be knowing that mathematics is considered as a language of the universe. Why do you think it is considered
Yes,
as a
sir.
language of the universe?
So, because mathematics is used in every aspect of our life, be it our economy, be it at nation level, we calculate GDP and all. So there also we use mathematics, and even in scientific theories, we have some derivations which are based on mathematical principles.
That is totally
Because economic,
all
scientific, and all
all these disciplines that you talked about are the subjects and disciplines of our planet. But why is mathematics
aspects.
considered as a language of the universe, not of our planet only?
Okay. Um, so I think, sir, can I have a few seconds?
Yes, please.
Language of universe. So, because it is not just that we have to, so even without speaking, we can express the mathematics even through signs and symbols. I think I
Can
may be
you,
wrong. I'm not
can
able
you,
to.
can you give me an example of that? Just one example.
Uh, so, because no, so I think I'm interpreting it in very narrow sense. I'm sorry, I'm not able to answer that.
Aren't you aware of the Fibonacci sequence
No, sir. Sorry, I'm not
or the,
aware of.
or the golden triangle or the golden ratio or the Pascal's triangle?
Sorry, sir. I have heard about these terms, but I'm not really sure of their meaning.
Okay, no problem. As you have mentioned that you like playing carom, can you tell me what is
Yes, sir.
what is thumbing in carom?
Mm. So actually, I played. I've recently started playing it at home only in my free time, so I've not really read about the.
Okay. Regarding painting, who is your favorite painter?
So I like bird paintings and also miniature paintings. And so regarding the famous painter, uh, I'm not able to recall the name of the painter, but for example, the Madhubani painting, it has really good features in that. For example, they try to fill the painting in very colorful manner. They try to use natural leaves and all to fill the gaps, extra spaces in between. So such type of paintings I really like, and they also try to um, describe the nature through those paintings. So I'm not able to recall the name of the painter.
Can you tell me that how do historians and these archaeologists they actually use paintings and other artifacts to reconstruct our history? Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, sir. So, talking historically, for example, we find mention of Lakudiyar paintings, which belong to Mesolithic period. So, sir, there was a superimposed kind of paintings. Similarly, there were Bimbetka paintings which used to express the cultural life of that time. For example, they have shown hunting scenes, then community dancing and playing festivals, the celebrating festivals. Then there were paintings of mothers rearing their children. So this shows how their cultural life was, and also the kind of weapons they used to use for hunting and all. So I think this is how the culture life has been shown by paintings.
Okay. How do you think in the ancient civilizations, these nomadic, with the nomadic lifestyle or with the hunting and gathering societies, how do you think that the process of exchange used to take place during those times?
Process of exchange, I think it was in barter system. Since it was civilization, so barter system was used for exchange purposes.
Please repeat your answer. I was not able to hear you.
Okay, so since the time of Indus Valley civilization, we used barter system for the purpose of exchange. And so later on, these coins and currencies they evolved for the same purpose.
Who is the currency authority in India?
Currency Authority of India. So this is RBI, Reserve Bank of India.
Okay, which is the highest denomination note that the RBI can print as of yet?
Currently, so it is a 2000 rupees notes which RBI can print, and I think this is the highest that
Is,
I can remember right now.
okay, isn't there anything mentioned in the RBI Act regarding the highest denomination that the RBI can possibly print?
So aware of. I don't think there is a ceiling as such in the act. I may be wrong.
Okay. As you must be knowing that rupee one note is something in which we do not see the signature of the RBI governor, but it is the minister, is the finance minister who actually signs the rupee one note. Can you tell me why rupee one note is not printed by the RBI?
So because it is accepted, this will be printed by India on the behalf of it, probably but the I it is uh, but it's an exception.
Kiran, your internet connection is very weak. Can you change the connection, please? I was telling you that your connection is quite weak. Can you change the connection, please?
Use my phone's internet only.
Okay, okay, no problem. All right. Since you have appeared for Assistant Registrar Cooperative Societies, and you're from Samba, can you tell me the name of some cooperative societies from your district?
So there are many societies actually. For example, in marketing sector, have some societies at small level working. They are working at a small level. Also, recently, Snowcap it has organized some awareness campaigns for making people aware how to form cooperative societies in dairy sector. So this sector, cooperative societies are also emerging in Samba now.
Okay. What, according to you, are the major problems faced by cooperative societies in Jammu Kashmir?
So Firstly, I would say that general problem that it has been government driven initiative. This was started by Maharaja Pratap Singh in JNK. So this has not come from the people's demand. So therefore, people are not very aware about this. They're not really interested in these activities unless they are made aware. And so secondly, there has been bureaucratic issues. For example, corruption. So there has been a case of corruption where board of directors of cooperative department, they were involved in a land scam. So because of that, they were suspended. So this is how corruption has also one of the problem. Then also there have been irregular meetings. For example, there was a data in 2021 that departmental promotion committee it has not held even a single meeting in last 15 years. So I think these are the main issues in JNK regarding cooperatives.
If you are selected as an assistant registrar, what are the various things that you can do to increase awareness and remove corruption at the block level?
I can organize regarding awareness part. I can organize campaigns, workshops for skill development, answer campaigns like Nukkar Nataks at village level to make people aware about the cooperative societies. And just like the Snow Cap is collaborating with the Samba administration for spreading the awareness about the cooperative sectors in dairy field. Similar initiatives can be taken at village level and at block level also. And so regarding skill development, we can have workshops, and I think these are some of the ways.
What about corruption?
Uh, so for corruption, I think there is need to be accountability system which can be done through social audits at village level, at block level. So this is one thing that we can do social audits. And so secondly, I think government and the administration has to be proactive. So we can make all the information regarding cooperatives accessible on online websites, so that everybody can access the information. So this way, transparency and these things can be ensured, and corruption can be curbed.
Okay. Kiran, give me three qualities that why JKPSC should select you as an assistant registrar.
Okay. So first, I would say I am a hardworking girl. So if I am given some target, I make sure that I achieve it in given time. And so secondly, I am able to understand the like if there is a dispute between two parties, I can hear both the parties in a neutral manner, and then after proper investigation and introspection, I can take a unbiased decision. So this is another thing. And so third, I am compassionate and empathetic about downtrodden sections. I can understand the common people very well because I belong to the same background.
It's been said that empathy actually changes you and it stops you, restricts you from being objective in your decisions. What do you think about it?
No, sir, but I think I can balance it by my proactive approach. I think I can take a neutral decision. I can hear both the sides properly and then take a decision after weighing the pros and cons of both the issues. So it is not that I am extremely emotional. I can check my emotions and take a unbiased decision. I think
Okay.
so. Yes, sir.
Kiran, as I can see that you have done your graduation from Government College for Women, can you tell me what are the various problems that our women face in our union territory?
So, regarding women issues in JNK UT, so first, which has recently been settled down, that earlier, because of Article 35A, women were not allowed to, the children of those women who married outside UT of JNK, they were not allowed to inherit their mother's property. So I think this issue has been addressed now after the revocation of Article 35A and 370. And the second issue, there is a general issue that patriarchal mindset. So women are not very they're not allowed to work outside. They are forced to marry early. These are some of the issues that we still see in JNK even. So I think these are some of the issues.
Think might be the problem with the government stand on increasing the age of the woman of marriage from 18 to 21. What do you think can be the cons of that?
I think first con would be that, like, now we are allowed to take our decisions after we turn 18. But after that, if we increase the age from 18 to 21, marriage age, so they will be restricted to have their independent decisions until they turn 21. I think this would be one issue, one con of this thing. Then, sir, another one would be that I think mostly it has benefits only. And regarding cons, like I told, that they will not be able to take decisions until they turn 21. And the second thing I would say, sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall right now.
Okay. Kiran, can you tell me that what is the literacy rate for women in your district, Samba?
So this is less as compared to men. I think it's around 65 or so, around 65%
Okay. What is the sex ratio for UT?
of JNK UT. So this
Yes.
is 889 females per thousand males.
Okay. What do you think are the reasons for the low sex ratio in our union territory?
The first thing, there is a mindset of son meta preference. So people do prefer son as compared to a girl child. So this may be because of illiteracy and financial burden. They think that it will be a financial burden to get a girl child marry off later on with dowry and all. So I think this is one thing which is common in whole India as well. And so second thing, poverty. So parents, they want um, a poverty because they want that they are fearful that they will have to give dowry when they get their girl marry off. So this is, I think, financial burden and some patriarchal mindset. So these are the things.
Okay. There is a fact that in high education areas, let me give you an example. Like, for example, United States being one of those countries that where the literacy standards are quite high, we see a general trend that in those in the country of United States, with the high education ratio and high literacy rate, there are again high crime rates as well. Compare that to India. In India, Kerala, as you must be knowing, that has one of the highest literacy rates in India. Along with that, it has also one of the highest crime rates in India. Do you think that there is any sort of a correlation between the literacy and the crime rate of a particular area?
So, I think literacy cannot ensure that crime would be less because it's more about social upbringing of a person. It is more about social aspect rather than just literacy aspect. For example, like you said that in Kerala, despite being high literacy rate, there have been high instances of crimes. So regarding crimes, if I say that, uh, so I think it's more of a social upbringing thing rather than education. So if a boy is not really uh, what do I say? The crimes, as in, are you asking in violence against women in that
So
aspect,
in the general sense,
or
in the general sense.
okay? So, so in general, I would say that even after literacy, after high literacy rate, there is a lot of unemployment still existing in those high literacy states, and because of
But
unemployment, people are
we have
diverted
to,
to crimes.
but there are high employment rates in United States. There is no such problem like that in the US or the Western economies.
There are some other issues like racial discrimination. Like recently, we saw the Black Lives Matter. So where George Floyd, he was killed by the police,
So,
just because
so
they
you,
was.
so you're saying that racial discrimination will lead to increasing instances of crime?
Yes, it can also lead to crime. Yes.
Okay. My next question to you, Kiran, is regarding the cooperative sector, the history of cooperative movement. We know that the cooperative movement in the Britain and compare that to cooperative movement in India, there are stark differences between the two. Can you just give me two differences? What are the main differences between the cooperative movement as it started in Britain and as it started in India?
So in Britain, like we saw the creation of Rothschild Society. It was against the ill effects of industrialization when workers were overexploited. So they decided to come together and start producing things which they can afford easily. So this was driven by people's demand against the ill effects of
Rochdale,
industrialization.
Rochdale Society was a group of
Workers,
workers.
yes, sir, who decided to produce things at affordable rates so that they can afford them. It was a
Okay,
consumer society, I think.
okay.
So, and so,
Continue, please.
yes, sir. In contrast to that people-driven cooperative movement in Britain, in India there was it was an effort of Madras government in the beginning, which sent Frederick Nicholson to Germany to understand the kind of cooperative movement that should be implemented in India. And so he suggested Raiffeisen model. He gave the phrase that find Raiffeisen, that India needs to implement the rural credit cooperative society system. So this thing that we implemented a Raiffeisen model, and in Britain that is a Rothschild principle model. And the second
So
thing, like I said that, so there
when
was a sorry, sir.
when Fred Nicholson talked about fine Jefferson and he wanted to implement the model in India, which was the country that was following that model initially?
Germany was following that.
Okay, continue, please.
Yes, sir. So first thing, like I said that in India it was focused on rural model, the Faisen model, and in England it was more about industrialization and ill effects of industrialization, which led to the formation of cooperative movement. And the second thing, it was people driven in the England, and in India it was government driven. So it was because of the efforts of Lord Curzon and Madras government that cooperative movement in India was started. So these are the two differences.
Okay, regarding the government's role in this cooperative movement, we are seeing that the government is increasingly moving towards the privatization and disinvestment concept, opening the economy for the private sector, making the economy more increasing the ease of doing business, making economy more private and market oriented. Do you support the vision of the government in which the government is selling off its assets to the private sector? Do you think it will help India in the long run?
Yes, sir. I think it is a good step because, so firstly, it will increase the efficiency because private sector tend to be more focused on profit making. So they would they would ensure that they work with efficiently, they work efficiently, and so it would lead to better economic development. I think so, and so it may have ill effects also because of India. In India, there is still 21% people who are below poverty line. So I think welfareistic aspect, it can be compromised in long term. So it has both positive and negative. So we need to ensure the balance between the both. There should be privatization in some sectors, but still government should make sure that if situations like pandemic, COVID-19, if they arise, the government should have enough say in providing those welfare services to poor people. I think this is my take on this.
So, to increase the participation of the private sector in India, government has initially went for disinvestment and then the privatization, and now recently in the last year's budget they started with the asset monetization. What do you know about it?
Asset monetization. Yes, sir. For example, government has some PSUs. whose assets, if monetized, they can earn good investment, a good amount of revenue to government. So this is asset monetization is basically selling of government assets or PSUs, which can be sold, which are not very important to the government functioning. So by selling them, they can earn some good amount of revenue. So this is asset monetization.
So how would you differ it from disinvestment then?
So in this investment, government sells some of the shares of its company to private sector. For example, it should be less than 51%. And regarding asset monetization, um, they are not selling the stakes; they are just selling those things. For example, they will lease out. For example, they will lease out their. For example, if a company is just it is not working properly, and government wants to sell its assets to some to some private company, so actually, I'm not able to properly differentiate. Sorry, I'm just guessing this.
No problem. That's totally fine. All right. I can see that you enjoy teaching. Can you tell me which is the subject that you have recently taught?
I taught economy recently.
Okay. You can see that in India, because of the COVID, we have seen a huge decline in our growth rate. We actually plunged down to minus 24%, close to 24%, and now we are recovering. Can you tell me that what is the recovery curve of India?
It is K-shaped recovery.
What
Where
does it?
some sectors are recovering. So some sectors are recovering good, while others are actually contracting. The growth is actually contracting.
Are you supporting this opinion that India is actually being getting divided into two Indias, one for the rich and one for the poor?
So though inequalities are increasing, as evident in this Oxford inequality report, Oxfam inequality report. But sir, I would not say that India is being divided between rich and poor, though inequalities are increasing, but still government is ensuring that through its welfare schemes, that poor people, they also get a due share in the economic growth of the country. For example, we have a lot of schemes like PM Awas, Ayushman Bharat Yojana. So through these, government is ensuring that poor people, they also have a say in this economic development of the country. They also get equal benefits.
Okay. Last year, the Office of Economic Advisor, they issued the economic survey, and they talked about that inequality in India does not conflict, but it converges with the broader aims of our economy. So, what does it mean that inequality does not conflict but converges?
Sorry, sir, can you please repeat the question?
The economic survey, the last year's economic survey talked about the inequality in India. It does not conflict with the social objectives that we have, but it converts with the social objectives. In other words, they said that the inequality that we have in India is preferable.
Okay. So I might not be sure about the context in which it was said. Um, I've not I've not read about it actually.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me that? Can you tell me any mathematical coefficient that we have to measure inequality?
Yes, sir. We have Gini coefficient. It measures income distribution and inequality.
What is the Gini coefficient for India?
So I think it is less than 1%. I'm not sure about the exact figure.
It has to be less than 1%, because 1% would mean that there is perfect inequality, which is nowhere the case.
Okay.
Okay. What is the graphical representation of the Gini coefficient?
Graphical representation. So so on the x-axis we have the One second.
What is the curve? How do we measure inequality through graphical representation? What is the curve?
So I think it goes like
No,
planting.
okay, it's the Lorentz curve.
Okay, I may not be sure about this.
All right, no problem. Okay, Kiran, I'd like to ask you that what is your family background?
So my father, he is a tailor. He also dry cleans the police uniforms, and my mother is a homemaker. And so this is it. I have a brother and an elder sister who is now married, and I'm the middle one.
Okay. Do you think that the GDP, when we measure the GDP, gross domestic product, do you think it includes the services that are being given or produced at the household level by the women of our nation?
No, sir, they are not included in GDP calculation.
Should they be included?
So actually, there are different perspectives about this. First, if we include them in GDP, it will increase the GDP, our GDP calculation. Of course, this is good. But so on the other hand, it is negative also. Why? Because women, they do their domestic work um, out of passion and love for the family. So this would be taken in economic aspect, which might be wrong, might seem
So
wrong
are
to
you
women
saying that
actually.
if you're passionate about your job or the thing you do, you should not be paid for that?
No, sir. Because like we see motherhood. So if a mother is doing something for her children, she won't want to be paid for that. This is out of love and passion.
Can you name any index that measures that actually includes the services produced by the woman and includes it in the national income?
Uh, I'm not able to recall any right now.
Okay. All right, Kiran, let's conclude the process. Now,
Okay, sir.
feedback. One word for you, Kiran. It was a brilliant performance. I have very less, very. It is not frequent that I enjoy the interview of the candidate, but I really enjoyed your interview. So regarding what I have noticed is a lot of pros that you are very honest about your opinion and जब आपको नहीं पता होता आपके चेहरे पे स्माइल आ जाती है और आप क्वेश्चन छोड़ देते हो यू डोंट परस्यू दैट और वो काफी अच्छा है वेरी पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड और आपका बहुत अच्छा ये भी है कि आप पॉइंट वाइज जवाब देते हो फर्स्टली सेकेंडली थर्डली एंड दैट इज वेरी ब्रिलियंट एंड आई बिलीव कि यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर सिविल सर्विसेज तो वो एटीट्यूड सिविल सर्विस प्रिपरेशन से आ जाता है पॉइंट वाइज जवाब दे देना बड़ा कंसाइज वो काफी अच्छा था यू हैव बीन टू द पॉइंट जो आपसे पूछा गया प्रिसाइसली आपने उसी का जवाब दिया तो आपका एटीट्यूड आई वुड रैंक इट वेरी गुड एटीट्यूड काफी अच्छा स्ट्रेस टॉलरेंस आपका बहुत अच्छा है यू डोंट टेक लॉज अलोंग पॉज पॉज आप लंबा नहीं लेते हो वो भी काफी परफेक्ट है what you can work on is आप जैसे जाएंगे इंटरव्यू में सो आई वुड वांट कि थोड़ा सटल सा कलर आपको आपको लगाकर हो मे बी जैसा भी आपका एक सटल सा कलर हो थोड़ा नॉट ब्राइट ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए
Yes, sir, I'll change the place, sir.
yes yes regarding your knowledge आपकी you have a wonderful knowledge regarding the subjects that you were asked about mathematics में some of the things you were lacking in mathematics so these are
Yes.
mathematics में nobody will ask you some technical aspects of it it's just the popular mathematics that will be asked so language of the universe you should have given a very good answer for that because mathematics is seen everywhere तो जैसे मैंने आपको यहीं से बोला रिगार्डिंग द फिबोनाची सीक्वेंस यू नो दैट द सीक्वेंस दैट वी सी दैट हाउ जो पेटल्स होते हैं एक रोज के अंदर या एक फ्लावर के अंदर वो किस सीक्वेंस में बाहर आते हैं एंड इट फॉलोज अ मैथमेटिकल सीक्वेंस जैसे हमारे चेहरे में इट फॉलोज अ गोल्डन रेशियो तो ऐसे ही हम sequences or we can identify these patterns all along in the universe, and maybe sometimes if we are getting contact with the extraterrestrial beings, we can converse with them through the mathematical language only. So it is seen everywhere.
Yes, sir.
That would be the answer to that. Regarding every other aspect of your interview, I really enjoyed it. I think that you should be selected in this interview. Are there any questions?
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, for example, there were so many questions where I said no, I don't know. In fact, I think most of the question I said I don't know. So, this would it be a negative aspect in my
It is,
interview?
it is totally not negative. अगर आप 10 सवाल आपको कोई पूछ रहा है और आप 7 6 7 सवालों में आई डोंट नो बोल रहे हो, इट इज टोटली नॉट अ टेस्ट ऑफ योर नॉलेज. नॉलेज का बिल्कुल टेस्ट ही नहीं, बिकॉज ऑलरेडी टेस्ट हो चुका है, आपने रिटन क्वालिफाई कर लिया है. ये टेस्ट है अगर आपको
Yes,
कंटिन्यूसली,
sir.
जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कुछ ऐसे सवाल होते हैं जो पता होती है हमें कि द कैंडिडेट वुड नॉट बी एबल टू नो. तो इट इज जस्ट आस्क्ड टू सी
Yes,
द
sir.
टॉलरेंस कि वो कैसे टॉलरेट करता है इस सवाल को. अगर कंटिन्यूसली फैक्चुअल सवाल पूछे जा रहे हैं तो वो कैसे उसको सह रहा है, कहीं तो वो डम फाउंड नहीं हो रहा, कहीं लंबा पॉज तो नहीं ले लिया उसने, ऐसे सोच नहीं पा रहा.
Yes,
व्हाट यू कैन डू इज, देयर आर सम क्वेश्चंस की जिसका आपको कुछ भी आइडिया नहीं है. So you can straight away say, I don't know about it, but I can go back and learn about it. But there are some questions in which you have the slightest idea. उसमें
yes,
what you
sir.
can do is कि आप उनको कह सकते हो, सर presently I can't recall, but however I can talk on these terms. अब however बोल के पहले तो I don't know आपने बोल दिया, I can't recall बोल दिया, तो they won't expect an answer from you. बट क्योंकि आपको स्लाइट आइडिया है, हाउएवर बोल के आपने अपना आइडिया भी उनको बता दिया. सो दैट इज द प्रोसेस टू आंसर दोज क्वेश्चंस इन व्हिच यू हैव स्लाइट आइडिया अबाउट द आंसर.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question?
No, sir. So, actually, tomorrow is my interview. So, what area should I work on? Like, should I do some definitions of physics? I have no idea about physics right now. I've forgotten all of
Okay.
what I've studied.
What you can do is जो आपकी डिस्ट्रिक्ट है कॉपरेटिव्स के रिलेटेड जितना भी आपको मिलेगा वहाँ डेटा, वो डेटा सेट्स आप लो एंड यू कोट डेटा वेरी परफेक्टली इन योर आंसर. यू हैव द डेटा, बट अपनी डिस्ट्रिक्ट के रिलेटेड आपके पास अच्छा डेटा होना चाहिए.
Yes.
कॉपरेटिव्स में जो रिसेंट करंट अफेयर्स है, कोई कॉपरेटिव वीक हुआ है रिसेंटली, प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कुछ बोल दिया अपनी स्पीच में, फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने कॉपरेटिव सेक्टर में परसों बजट स्पीच में क्या बताया, तो ये चीजें आप करंट रिलेटेड एस्पेक्ट्स अपने आंसर्स में डाल सकते हैं. You don't need to study the mathematics and or physics का कुछ part,
Physics.
because
Okay.
कल आपका इंटरव्यू है, you would not be able to do everything. तो अभी you can skip
Yes,
that
sir.
part. Cooperatives क्योंकि उसी का आपका जॉब भी है, cooperatives के related the current aspect of it have to be studied. और एक बार देख लेना बजट इकोनॉमिक सर्वे देख लेना, because वो
Yes,
अभी
sir.
काफी, and I am hearing that काफी सारे बच्चों को बजट इकोनॉमिक सर्वे से पूछा जा रहा है. Maybe it'll get repeated again. So आप थोड़ा बहुत आइडिया जस्ट हाइलाइट्स देख लेना, जैसे गति शक्ति, अमृत काल क्या है, what are the 7 engines of गति शक्ति, ऐसे नई स्कीम कोई इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ने रिसेंटली बारवेल स्ट्रेटेजी के बारे में बताया, तो वो थोड़ी चीजें ऐसी है जो आपको पता होनी चाहिए रिसेंट इकोनॉमिक सर्वे बजट में क्या है.
And so, the questions you asked about the economy portion, since I mentioned teaching as my hobby, so should I mention teaching as a hobby or not? Because I'm not able to answer most of the question, I think, in economy too.
Was the economy the subject you taught?
Yes, sir, but it was for Patwari exam, so it was not very thoroughly studied at that time.
Okay.
Yes,
तो
sir.
ऐसा कुछ subject बता दो जो आपको अच्छा आता है.
So recently I taught economy only, so
Hmm. आई डोंट थिंक दिल परस्यू दैट टू मच, जितना मैंने परस्यू किया, बिकॉज हमारे पास टाइम काफी था ना, तो मैंने काफी परस्यू किया उसमें. तो आपके
yes,
पास
sir.
वहाँ इट वॉन्ट बी अ लॉन्ग इंटरव्यू जितना हमारा हुआ है. आई थिंक यू कैन से इकोनॉमी एंड मे बी देयर आर सम जनरल क्वेश्चंस इन इकोनॉमी, तो वो आप हैंडल कर सकते हो.
Okay, sir.
ओके,
Thank
हाउ
you.
वुड यू रेट योर इंटरव्यू?
Sorry, sir. Your voice
हाउ वुड
is.
यू रेट, हाउ वुड यू रेट योर इंटरव्यू?
So my experience has been really wonderful. Actually, I gave one mock offline also a few days back, but I was very nervous at that time. My fear clearly showed on my face. So, was I fearful today also? Like,
No,
is it
no,
appearing on my face?
I don't think
Okay.
so. I don't think so. Your answers were very confident. Your attitude was very wonderful. I think your performance was brilliant.
Thank you, sir.
All the best. We'll get in touch with you after the selection list is comes out. Okay.
I hope so. Thank you, sir.
All the best.